All right, you would think the press pool would actually realize that president after president, they have renovated, they have changed, they have upgraded the White House. This includes major changes under both Clinton and Obama. Now, the Trump-induced anger and rage on the left is beyond idiotic, and whether Democrats like it or not, one big, beautiful new ballroom paid for by the president himself and private donations will soon host major historic events for decades to come without spending one taxpayer penny. Here with reaction, the executive vice president at the Trump Organization, Donald Trump Jr. is with us. I don't know what to say. I mean, your dad's paying a lot of it out of his own pocket. He has other people donating for the project. He's going to spend $200 million to create a grand ballroom, and you would think this never happened before.
Sean, it's absolutely nuts. The reality is the White House needs to be more functional. It needs to be able to be used by the people. It needs to be able to host major functions for a lot of people. And I've spent a lot of time in the White House. It's an incredible building. It has a lot of historic significance, but it's also very small, much smaller than most people would realize. And if there's one person in America qualified to build something like this, it's actually Donald Trump, someone who's done hospitality and entertainment for his entire career before becoming a politician. This is something that's not going to make the White House worse. It's something that's going to enhance the White House greatly and make it more functional. And because of the time of construction, the great irony, despite what these idiots are saying, is that Donald Trump is the president that will actually get to use it the least, but he's the only one actually competent enough to do this, to do it right, and do it with a quality and historical significance that it deserves.
All right, Whoopi, you don't own it. Karine Jean-Pierre, this project is corruption at its core. How is it corruption when he's paying for it? I don't get it. Scarborough, Liberal Joe, slamming it, disgusting demolition. You know, all it takes is one little minor Google search, or you can ask, you know, Grok or Chat GPT, and you'll get an answer within seconds. And you get the whole history of renovations at the White House.
Well, the Democrats aren't exactly the brightest people, Sean. We've seen that this whole week. Everything they say is sort of meaningless, right? They're talking about having a no kings protest. And, you know, congratulations, guys, you won. We don't have kings. We have a president that was elected in a landslide electoral college win, someone who won the popular vote, someone who won all 7 swing states in a landslide fashion, someone, by the way, who, if he was a king, probably would just reopen the government, but it hasn't worked that way. If he was a king, he probably would have never left the office the first time. If he was a king, he wouldn't allow his government to prosecute and persecute him. And he certainly wouldn't allow people to assassinate him or try to at least twice. So this is just the usual Democrat nonsense. They throw out the talking points. You heard each one of these people say wrecking ball. You know, the DNC wrote the talking points. They have to say that. And none of it ever means anything. None of it's for the good of the people. You understand this. This is privately funded by him and others. It's not costing the American taxpayer a dime, and yet they're going to be the beneficiaries of that and the successes and the incredible meetings and get-togethers that we'll be able to have in the White House to celebrate America and its dominance across the world.
By the way, it beats putting a tent up in the backyard. Let's be honest, and you don't know what the weather's going to be. Did you spend any time watching the radicalism on display at this No Kings protest weekend that took place around the country, including calls to kill your father and kill ICE agents and shoot them, disgusting comments about Charlie Kirk, and I don't really see any purpose besides some people wanted to play dress up as mascots and furry animals. What impact, if any, do you take out of that? Because Ted Cruz is on after you. He thinks we should pay a little more attention to it than others.
Well, I think we do have to watch out for the radical left. They've shown that they're violent. We understand that their ideas don't work. They're getting desperate, and so they're resorting to violence. They're doing this. When they say in those same talking points I was talking about earlier that it's violence on both sides. No, it's not, Sean. There is no violence from the right. It is not both sides. It is from one side, and it was from the left alone. When I watched the protest this weekend, though, it was sort of funny because they're clearly not sending their best or their brightest, and maybe that's because they don't have anyone that's bright or good at anything that they do. It was laughable. The most fun I frankly had was watching my father on True Social respond to these people, and they're commenting back, we're protesting him, and he's laughing at us in our our faces. I mean, it's pretty funny. Watching these people dress up like clowns and they expect to be taken seriously, it's truly laughable, but that is the state of the Democrat Party. They're radical, terrorist, violence-preaching lunatics, and you can see it right on the screen now, Sean.
Listen,
no one can describe it any better than just watching them, stupefy themselves.
Let them be the party of open borders. Let them vote for the largest tax increase in history. Let them be the party that wants Americans dependent on other countries for pharmaceuticals, semiconductor chips, and everything in between. And let them be the party
men and
that
women's sports, Sean. We got to have that. We got to make sure we have men and women's sports. Don't forget that one.
All right, Donald Trump Jr., thank you. Good to see you.
Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You won't get it anywhere else.